Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nityal Pavishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudev ki jai. Nityal Pavishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Mahārāja ki jai. Nityal Pavishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Nityal Pavishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Mahārāja ki jai. Nityal Pavishtam Vishnupar Rashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nityal Pavishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gaura Babaji Mahārāja ki jai. Nityal Pavishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai. Nityal Pavishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja ki jai. Shri Rupa Anuga Guru Varga ki jai. Śrīla Baladeva Vijabhushan Prabhu ki jai. Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Shri Nartham Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Trai ki jai. Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Par ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Sharad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Avishya Pradhata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Puruṣottama Vrat ki jai. Vrat Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Puruṣottama Dev ki jai. Jagannath Dev ki jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ju ki jai. Shri Puruṣottama Kshetra ki jai. Shri Vrajendra Nandan Shyam Sundar Shri Krishna Chandra ki jai. Shri Vishwabhanu Nandini Shrimati Radha Thakurani ki jai. Shri what is it? Golden Volcano of Divine Love ki jai. Śrīla Bhakti Rakṣaka Śrīdhara Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Sah Parikara Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shnitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bo.
Hari Bo. All right, so as you hear me say every now and then, I had one of those nights where I stayed up the whole night preparing. Oh, how come I see comments from Rukmini Didi and Shubhananda and everybody, but I don't see anybody there? Or Satya Mataji. Huh. I wonder if they joined and I wasn't there and then they left. Anyways. So, sorry, I'm spaced out. Yeah, so I stayed up the whole night last night trying to prepare these ashtakams in Bengali and in Hindi. I thought I had them all, but then I found out at nighttime I didn't, and so it took me many hours to get all the Bengali words ready. And so I only slept 1.5 hours last night. So, and I wasn't able to prepare anything, but luckily, Rukmini Didi, I saw on Facebook, she posted on her page, she posted a bunch of resources for Puruṣottama. Some Harikatha from her Guru Maharaj, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. There's an article by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, and we can see if there's anything on purebhakti.com. I think there's something on Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani, so we can just read whatever we find. Yeah, and if anybody has anything special that they want me to read, also you can share it with me. But first, we can sing a kirtan. And then, since today is the first day of Puruṣottama, probably best to sing Mangala Gitam, right? So I will share my screen and then we can watch that. One second. Yeah, and then we'll finish the chapter that we were reading yesterday from, what was it? A Friend of the Fallen, about Nityananda Prabhu. What am I looking for? Mangala Ki. Okay, what melody should I do? Should I do the the Oriya melody. I'm going to do that one. And I'm not going to do call and response. We can just sing it all together. Okay. 1 second. I just want to make sure that I don't have noise suppression on. Okay, perfect. Because then you can't hear the mridanga. Okay. So Shri Mangala Gitam by Shri Jayadev Goswami. Because this is Jagannath Dev always wants to hear this. He always wants to hear Mangala Gitam. This is what we sing for everything. In Orissa, this is what they sing when they do arti, and when they do arti to Srimad Bhagavatam, and they sing this also. Yeah. So. Shita Kamala Kucha Mandala Andrita Kundala Edrita Kundala Kalita Lalita Jaya Jaya Deva Hare 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 Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Dinamani Mandala Mandana Dinamani Mandala Jaya Deva Hare 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 Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Kaliya Vishadhara Ganjana Janaranjana Janaranjana Jadukula Nalina Dinesha Jaya Jaya Deva Hare 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 Jaya Jagannatha Hare Madhumura Naraka Vinashana Garudasana Surakula Keli Nidana Jaya Jaya Deva Hare bhushana jita doshana samara shamita dasha kanta jaya jaya deva hare hare jaya jagannatha hare abhinava jaladhara sundara hari abhinava jaladhara sundara dhritamandara shimukha chandra chakora dhritamandara radhamukha chandra chakora jaya jaya deva hare 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 jaya jaya deva hare tava charane pranatavaya tava charane pranatavaya iti bhavaya kuru kushalam pranateshu jaya jaya deva hare 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 jaya jagannatha hare Shri jaya deva kaveridam Shri jaya deva kaveridam Gurudevodam mangalam bhujalaikitam Gurudevodam mangalam bhujalaikitam Jaya jaya deva hare 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 jaya jaya deva hare hare jaya jagannatha hare hare jaya jagannatha hare hare krishna 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 hare 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 rama 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 hare 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 krishna 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 hare 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 rama 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 hare 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 krishna 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 hare 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 rama 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 hare 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 krishna 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 hare hare Jai Shri Sachinatan Gaur Hari Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopikan Shri Raj Maharaj. Hare Krishna, everybody. So, oh, one second. I'm going to close my windows because it's pretty loud. Okay, and then let's see if I can turn on some noise suppression. One second. Let me turn on this. Okay. Just opening up. Preferences. Zoom optimized audio. Blackout. All sound. Okay, hopefully that's okay. Actually, there's heavy duty blackout. Yeah. All right, everybody, let's see. Hare Krishna, Manjari Didi, Yashoda Didi, Kishore Prabhu, Shubhananda Prabhu. Let's see who's watching on Facebook and YouTube. Hare Krishna. Wow, so many people. PK, I think that's Biplav, is it? And Ganga Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, Karuna Didi, Gargraj ji, Champak Didi, Vidya Lalasa Didi, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Madhusudan Prabhu, Indira Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. And there's so many others, 13 people. Wow. Hare Krishna. Okay, so if you're just coming now, I mentioned at the beginning that I didn't have time to prepare anything for this reading. So I'm going to be totally winging it right now, but something I thought we could do. Well, I got Rukmini Didi's. Oh, Shubhananda just shared a link with me. Let's see, where is that from? Oh, it's in Hindi and English. Who's this by? Okay, cool. And maybe we can read something by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Mahārāja. Wait, I'm not showing my page. Sorry, I forgot. There. Yeah, so we can read something from Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Mahārāja, and also from Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, and there's an article by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Maybe we can read all that. That's what I'm doing. So I guess we should do a short Mangala Charan first. Okay, I didn't prepare a Mangala Charan, but let's see. Yeah, let's use the one that we use for Chaitanya Bhagavat. We won't do the Chaitanya Bhagavat verses though. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tar Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Okay, let's do the first one. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanai kapitaro kamalaya taksho Vishwambharo dijavaro yugadharma palo Vande jagat priyakaro karunavataro. Let's do this one also. Namastrikala satyaya jagannatha sutaya cha Sabhrityaya saputraya sakalatraya te namaha. Oh, there's also a nice pranam mantra to Jagannath. Let me find it. It should be in areas. Where do I have it? Kirtan and Shloka classes, festival rep programs, Puruṣottama. Here it is. This is the Mangala Charan that I did in 2020 during Puruṣottama Vrat. Okay. Okay, we can say this together. Nilachala nivasaya nityaya paramatmane balabhadra subhadrabhyam jagannataya te namaha. And then this is the pranam mantra that you're supposed to say every day throughout Puruṣottama. It's like this is what's the main verse that's prescribed to sing. Govardhanadaram vande gopalam goparupinam gokulotsavamishanam govindam gopika priyam tavaivasmi na jivami tvaya vina iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamam charanantikam Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai Shiptashtakama ditarangamadhe Kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna Vrinde namaste charanaravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivastari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, so now we will go and read. We're going to finish the chapter that we read that we were reading yesterday about Nityananda Prabhu from Golden Volcano of Divine Love by Śrīla Bhakti Rakṣaka Gosvāmī Mahārāja, and then we'll end with reading the Glories of Puruṣottama. All right, just checking again comments here. Hari Bol Sudevi Didi. The sound is cut off? Really? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Looks like it's on. I wonder if it's your internet connection. It might be your internet connection. Okay. Where are we going? Oh God, I have so many things open right now. 1 second. Let me see. Okay, first we're going to read this. All right, so this chapter that we read yesterday was just so juicy and oh God, it was so inspiring. This one, I'm not going to read all of it again, what we read yesterday, but I'll just read a couple of little parts. Okay. Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to find. Okay. To capture the market, a clever merchant may distribute free samples of his product to his customers, saying, "Take one free. There is no question of paying any price now. I'm giving this away. Use it. And if you feel the value, the utility of my product, then buy it." And then afterwards, everyone will purchase. In a similar way, Nityananda Prabhu traveled throughout Bengal, making his humble appeal. Nityananda Prabhu would knock at the door and fall at the feet of his customers, crying, "Please accept this. Do not dismiss me. Don't drive me away. Please do what I say. Give all your attention to Gauranga, and you will be benefited beyond expectation. This is my request to you." He would shed tears, roll at their door, and say, "You are reluctant to accept this, but have no doubts. I implore you, take it. Believe me. Please accept Gauranga." In this way, Nityananda Prabhu used to wander down both sides of the Ganges, roaming here and there, preaching about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every atom of the body of Nityananda Prabhu is conscious transcendental substance, and every atom of his body is meant only for the service and satisfaction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I want to find the part where it says, where Mahaprabhu, okay, anyways, let's see. Our highest aspiration is to achieve the service of Srimati Radharani. But in the beginning, we must approach Sri Nityananda Prabhu through his manifest representation, the Guru. Nityananda Prabhu consolidates the foundation which helps us progress further in devotion. Quick progress without a good foundation invites a negative reaction. Am I sharing my screen? I'm not. Oh, God. So sorry about that. Okay. You guys are so patient with me. Okay. So, what was I saying? Okay. Nityananda Prabhu consolidates the foundation, which helps us progress further in devotion. Quick progress without a good foundation invites a negative reaction. So the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu is our primary necessity. This approach culminates in the service of Srimati Radharani, Nityayar Karuna Have, Vraje Radha Krishna Pave. To be reinstated as a servant of the servant to this extreme degree is the philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. All right. By the grace of Nityananda Prabhu, we develop our attraction for Sri Gauranga. If we receive the grace of Sri Gauranga, we receive everything in the highest degree. And that is the safest way to approach Radha Govinda. Oh, I like this part. Okay. Listen to this. Nityananda Prabhu's mercy sometimes exceeds the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because it may create a bad precedent, Mahaprabhu sometimes cannot accept certain fallen souls. He has to consider their status as well as other things. Nityananda Prabhu's mercy, however, does not care for any unfavorable circumstances. His mercy is very lavish and almost blind. He does not discriminate between different degrees of sinners. His mercy is all-embracing, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot dismiss his recommendation. Even those who Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected, Nityananda Prabhu sheltered, and gradually Mahaprabhu had to accept them. So the grace of Nityananda is the greatest, both in magnitude and circumference. And that is our solace. For by his mercy, even the most fallen souls can attain the supreme goal. Isn't that so beautiful? Okay, so yesterday I read half of this section, swallowed by Maya, and then we had to stop. Swallowed by Maya. So we'll finish up the chapter. Just checking again. I need to close all these windows. Really frustrating. Okay. Hare Krishna Gargaraj ji. Dandavat pranam. Okay, the sound is okay. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas for the benefit of those souls swallowed by Maya. He ran and chased after the fallen souls to deliver them from illusion by giving them the holy name of Krishna. And Nityananda Prabhu, like his shadow, ran after him wherever he went. He fully surrendered and identified himself with Mahaprabhu's cause. So we must bow down to Nityananda Prabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was merged in tasting the sweetness of Radha Govinda Lila and diving deep into that reality. However, at the same time, he wanted to deliver all souls whose hearts had not been devoured by the false notions of renunciation and exploitation. He ordered Nityananda Prabhu, go to Bengal and try to deliver them. Give them divine love for Radha and Krishna. He ordered Nityananda Prabhu to distribute divine love for Radha Govinda. But instead, Nityananda Prabhu began to preach about Sri Gauranga. He thought, it will be better for them to worship Gauranga. That will help free them from their offenses and their present condition. And by doing so, they will automatically achieve a position in Radha Govinda Lila. He was ordered to preach the name of Krishna, but instead he began to preach the name of Gauranga. So for our own welfare, we bow down to Nityananda Prabhu with all our humility. I really love this thing that Śrīla Govinda Gosvāmī should say all the time, that the mercy of, sometimes he'd say of Hari Guru Vaishnava, sometimes he'd say of Gaur Nityananda Prabhu, he'd say that their mercy is, that they, not their mercy, that they are patit pavan. They are deliverers of the fallen. But they are not kapati pavan. They don't deliver the duplicitous. And so if we can just, if we bow down to Nityananda Prabhu with all our humility, if we can just accept our real position, we don't need to pretend to be something greater than we are. We accept, oh yes, I have this anartha, I have this anartha, this is my condition. We're fully honest and sincere, non-duplicitous, then we get the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Otherwise, like Mahaprabhu just said here, he wanted to deliver all souls whose hearts had not been devoured by the false notions of renunciation and exploitation. If we're duplicitous, we're wanting to exploit people, get prestige and like that, and we're not accepting our real position, then we won't get the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. So easy. All we have to do is just like be real and say yes, okay, and then we get it. It's that easy. We pray, O Nityananda Prabhu, O Gurudev, please give me a drop of firm faith in Sri Gauranga, who is Radha Govinda combined, tasting the sweetness of the divine nectar of the pastimes of Vrindavan. Give me a drop of faith so that one day I may attain divine love and enter into that domain. If we neglect Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our aspiration to serve Radha Govinda will be a dream, an abstract imagination without reality. Nityananda Prabhu is the refuge of all fallen souls. He is the most generous-hearted aspect of Guru Tattva. We bow down our head to him, accept his holy feet, and surrender to him. In the spiritual realm of Vaikuntha, Nityananda Prabhu is represented as Sankarshan, the Supreme Lord who's considered to be the foundation of everything in existence. All possible existence is maintained by his energy. Nityananda Prabhu is the original Baladev, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, we should view the pastimes of Nityananda Prabhu with full consciousness of his dignified position, although he used to roam about here and there, rolling in the dust with tears in his eyes, saying, "Take the name of Gauranga and I will be sold to you." So even though he is in this very humble position, rolling in the dust, we should understand who Nityananda Prabhu really is, his dignified position. Although he posed in this lower position, still, he should be considered in light of his actual dignified position. We must surrender to him with that attitude. You see in what chapter is it? Is it like the 5th or 6th chapter or something? I can't remember, of Chaitanya Charitamrita, our 7th, I don't know, one of those chapters, it goes verse after verse after verse, explaining the position of Nityananda Prabhu. And also beginning of Chaitanya Bhagavat, which we went through for many days. We see. So this is what we should be remembering when we're talking about Nityananda Prabhu. Balaram is represented in different parts of the spiritual world in different aspects. He came here as Nityananda Prabhu with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The truth about Nityananda Prabhu has been exhaustively explained in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat. There, he is described as enjoying his life and relishing his pastimes with his own younger brother. To that Nityananda, we must bow our heads. Shri Krishna Prem, divine love, is an inconceivable substance, which is very pleasing and ecstatic. Great saints who get a taste of that wonderful substance throw away all sorts of aspirations, including salvation, which is lavishly praised in the Vedas. So Nityananda Prabhu, although one with Baladev, is greater than him. Why? He is distributing love. What is divine love? It is so important and valuable, so much higher than all sorts of other sorts of achievements, that one who can give divine love is far superior to those who can give duty, wealth, pleasure, and even salvation, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. If we concede that Krishna is subordinate to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then of course, Balaram is subordinate to Nityananda Prabhu. We read that story yesterday, right? Of Nityananda Prabhu pulling Baladev Prabhu off the throne, saying, now is my Gauranga's time. Your time's over. In all other respects, the two of them are similar. But when magnanimity is added to Balaram, he becomes Nityananda Prabhu. First, the position of divine love must be established. The great saints discard salvation and other things after they get a slight scent of divine love. Once the position of divine love is established, we can understand that one who can give it must necessarily be superior to the givers of all other things. Buddhidhajana, right? In the Gopi Gita. So Nityananda Balaram is superior to Karanadakshaya Vishnu, the super soul of the collective universes, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the super soul of this universe, and Kshiradakshaya Vishnu, the super soul of all living beings. And that Balaram has come here as Nityananda Prabhu, not with majesty, grandeur, or power, but in a human form to distribute divine love. And he is the giver of Gauranga. His greatness is proved by this fact. We can understand this by further examining the different aspects of his life, step by step. Okay, so now we're going to go through different aspects of his life step by step. Nityananda Prabhu was born in Ekachakra, and there he passed his early life. His parents, friends, and neighbors were filled with ecstatic joy, being pleased with his sweet infant pastimes. From his birth, he was a pleasure to the whole atmosphere of Ekachakra, and in this joyful atmosphere, he passed his childhood years. One day, while Nityananda Prabhu was still young, a sannyasi came to his home and begged him from his parents. The sannyasi was roaming about to different holy places, and he prayed for Nityananda as his alms. He took him in his company, and Nityananda Prabhu wandered about almost all the holy places, following that sannyasi. It is said that that sannyasi was Madhavendra Puri. So some people say that it was Madhavendra Puri, some people say it was Lakshmipati Tirtha. There's different opinions on that. But yeah. And that was something I was supposed to research that I never got around to, but Kishore shared something from the Parikrama book. And yeah. Okay. And I think I remember reading something in Sri Pavandavali. I need to look that up though. Then, one day from within, feeling ecstasy in his heart, Nityananda Prabhu could understand that Sri Gauranga had begun his pastimes of Sankirtan in Navadip. And with that inspiration, he came to Navadip Dham. An extraordinary dream. That day, Mahaprabhu told his followers, I had a dream that an extraordinary great man in a chariot marked with the palm tree flag of Balaram came to my door and he said, where is the house of Nimai Pandit? Twice, thrice, 4 times, again and again. He keeps saying, where is the house of Nimai Pandit? Mahaprabhu continued, that great personage must have come last night to Navadip. tried to search him out. They searched and searched, but they could not find him anywhere. Then Mahaprabhu told them, "Let me try." He took them straight to the house of Nandan Acharya, and when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers suddenly arrived there, they found Nityananda Prabhu sitting on the veranda. After seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu stared intensely at him. He stared intensely at him for some time, became absorbed in him, and fainted. In this way, in one day, he became the most intimate associate of Sriman Mahaprabhu. When he was ordered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give Krishna consciousness to everyone, he began to distribute Gauranga consciousness. He was ordered to give Krishna consciousness to everyone, but he began to distribute Gauranga consciousness, divine love of Sri Gauranga. That Nityananda Prabhu is the savior of all fallen souls, without any discrimination of the degree of their fallenness. So he bowed down to his holy feet. Don't worry about how fallen you are, because anything that you've done wrong in your life is not a disqualification for his mercy. You could have done the worst things even imaginable, but it doesn't matter how fallen you are. Being fallen is how we get his mercy. But we just have to accept our fallenness, and we bow down to his holy feet. Once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a secret talk with Nityananda Prabhu in Jagannath Puri. When Nityananda Prabhu went to Bengal and married, some say that Mahaprabhu asked him to marry. Interesting. Okay, so when Nityananda Prabhu, some say that Mahaprabhu asked him to marry. But it is our opinion that because the so-called high-class people were so much surcharged with vanity, Nityananda Prabhu was asked to approach the masses. Because he was ordered to mix with them very familiarly for his preaching purposes, it was found necessary for him to marry. Otherwise, if he were to have mixed very familiarly with family men, accusations may have been leveled at his standard of renunciation. And to further that purpose, he married. He had to adopt the policy and accept that attitude. And he may have been told to do so by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was not his own decision. Of course, marrying or not marrying was nothing to him. Yes, he's Nityananda Prabhu. How he came in contact with his eternal consort Janava Devi is described in the Bhakti Ratnakar. It appears that when he was preaching all around Bengal, he preached at the house of Janava Devi's father, Surya Das Pandit, the brother of Gauri Das Pandit, who was already a follower of Gaur Nityananda. Surya Das gave him intimate help in his propaganda work, as his house was a good base. And Surya Das, who had 2 daughters, offered Nityananda Prabhu his daughter in marriage. Ultimately, Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Srimati Janava Devi are eternally associated. And although their marriage apparently took place out of necessity, it was actually part of their eternal Leela. Of course, some so-called sannyasis take advantage of this to give up their vows of celibacy and marry. They give the marriage of Nityananda Prabhu as an excuse. But it is not a proven fact that Nityananda Prabhu was a sannyasi. Actually, the name Nityananda is a brahmachari name. Ananda is a suffix added to the name of a brahmachari. Ananda, Sarup, Prakash, and Chaitanya are different types of brahmachari names. The name Ananda is also found in the sannyas order of life, but we find no sannyas title mentioned for Nityananda Prabhu. There's also no mention anywhere of a sannyas guru for Nityananda Prabhu, although we know that his Diksha Guru was Madhavendra Puri, the Guru of Advaita Prabhu and Ishvara Puri. Nityananda Prabhu is known as an avadut. Avadut does not mean a sannyasi, but one who is not very particular about his external practices and sometimes does things which should not be done. When an exalted person is seen engaging in lower practices, he is considered an avadut. It is understood that he is above that, but his practices are of a lower nature. Ava means lower, and dut means that he can either remove or purify. Nityananda Prabhu broke the single sannyas staff, the ekadanda, into 3. That indicates that when taking sannyas, the renounced order of life, we should accept not 1, but 3 dandas, which symbolized the dedication of body, mind, and words in the service of the Lord. And Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was also inspired by this action of Nityananda Prabhu's to give Tridandi sannyas to his followers, in contrast to Ekadanda, which was formerly current in Bengal. The system of Tridanda sannyas was the custom in southeast India with the Vaishnavas who follow Ramanuja Ācārya, and Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta introduced it for the modern age. Misconception. Attack it. Crush it. Nityananda Prabhu's approach was somewhat peculiar. Sorry. Nityananda Prabhu's approach was somewhat peculiar. His strategy was to uplift the most fallen. Like Napoleon, whose policy was to attack the strongest position of the opposing army, Nityananda Prabhu wanted to capture the most sinful. Generally, we think that a saint flies away from this world of Maya and goes to a solitary place where he can enter into a cave and engage himself in meditation. Indian saints generally preach, give up everything, go to a solitary place in the jungle, find a cave, and engage yourself fully in understanding Godhead. But our Guru Mahārāja was different. Like Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, he wanted to attack Maya. And like a great general, he declared totalitarian war on illusion. Totalitarian war on illusion, and even all other existing conceptions of religion. Why is there misunderstanding and misconception? He thought. Everything belongs to Krishna. Isha-vasyam idam sarvam. It is plain and simple and sweet. How can we think, this is for me and that is for him? Why should we let this misconception stand here at all? Attack it and crush the whole thing. He told us, Kirtan means to preach against misconception. Wow. Kirtan means to preach against misconception. As soldiers, you must go door to door and preach Krishna consciousness, Krishna's interest, the Krishna conception. If they understand that everything is for Krishna, they will be saved. This is truth, plain and simple. Why should they not understand this? Try to capture them, to release them from the world of misconception and misunderstanding where they are now suffering from reaction. In this way, we are not afraid of anything. A Vaishnav who loved solitary life once asked Guru Mahārāja, why do you stay in Kolkata? That is the place of Satan, where fighting for selfish interest is so acute. Leave that. Come to the holy Dham. But Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur especially chose that place, saying, I prefer to represent Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's creed in an extremely contaminated place. For this reason, he wanted to send men to the West. The East is captured by the glamour of Western civilization, he said. So Western civilization must first be crushed. Then its glamour will vanish, and the whole world will come to join the campaign of divine love of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This was the same spirit with which Nityananda Prabhu canvassed the fallen souls of this world in his attempt to take them to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada ki jai. My Param Guru Śrīla Bhakti Brighan Keshav Goswāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Śrīla Bhakti Rakṣaka Śrīdhara Goswāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Swaparikar Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to my Śrīla Gurudev. All glories to everybody in the line of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswāmī Prabhupada. Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Avadhut Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Okay, so that is our reading today from Golden Volcano of Divine Love. Tomorrow we will read Mad Nimai Pandit. I'm just going to check the comments. Do you have anything, Kishore Prabhu, Shubhananda Prabhu, Manjari Didi, Yashoda Didi, do you have anything that you want to share on this topic? Any thoughts before we read about Puruṣottama Vrat? If not, then I'll go straight to reading about Puruṣottama Vrat. Okay. So then let's go, where is this? There it is. What the heck? How come it's not coming up? So weird, it just disappeared. There it is. Huh, it's not coming up. Oh, there it is, okay. So Puruṣottama month. I'm gonna open this up in Reader, and then we can see it more nicely. There. Okay. Just close these windows. So this is Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And this is all on Rukmini Didi's page. If you go to her page, Ruchira Datta on Facebook, you can find the link to this. Okay. Puruṣottama Vrat, the best of all devotional practices. This is a summary of a discourse on the significance of Puruṣottama month by His Divine Grace, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Gosvāmī Mahārāja, President Ācārya of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. So Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Gosvāmī Mahārāja says, according to our almanac, every 3 years, 1 month is added. This is done to harmonize the lunar month, the Chandra Mas, with the solar month, the solar Mas. The inserted month is known as Puruṣottama and is technically called the intercalary month. This year, Puruṣottama month is being observed on, well, this year it's from July 18th. Till, I don't know, for 1 month. Puruṣottama is the most congenial month for the Bhakti sadhan. Even ācāryas can be pardoned if we do devotional practice in this month. The Adhishtata Dev of this holiest of months, the presiding deity of this holiest of all months is Bhagavan Shri Puruṣottama, Shri Krishna himself. So, of all the months, this month is the most favorite of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. The sadhan performed in this month will have a many-fold result. Everything has got consciousness in the background. As per our scriptures, the example is given of the sun, which is presided over by the sun god, the moon, which is presided over by the moon god, and Srimati Ganga Devi, who is the presiding deity of the river Ganga. So, similarly, this Puruṣottama month has a presiding deity. Being depressed due to her seemingly useless existence, the personified deity of this month approached Lord Narayan. This incident is described in the scriptures. She went to Narayan asking, "What offense did I commit? No one is performing any pious activities during my time. Why?" Lord Narayan directed her towards Lord Krishna. "You come with me, I shall take you to Lord Krishna." Upon being approached by her, Lord Krishna responded, "I am Puruṣottama, and I cannot be comprehended by finite beings of this world. They cannot comprehend me by their mental comprehension and sense organs, as I am beyond these means." Krishna explained, "This additional month is like me. I cannot be comprehended by the conditioned souls of this world, and I am supremely superior to Brahman and Paramatma, so I am designated as Puruṣottama. You are identical with me. You are the holiest month. If anybody observes a vrat, a vow of austerity during your time, he can get everything. If, as by scriptural injunctions, he observes it, it is even more auspicious than Kartik Vrat, the holiest month." Wow. Krishna says this directly, that Puruṣottama is more auspicious than Kartik Vrat. which is the holiest month, so you will be known by the name Puruṣottama. The Lord of the universe, Sri Jagannath Dev, is also known as Puruṣottam. Puri is known as Puruṣottam Dham. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to sing Sri Jagannath Ashtakam, 8 verses of the glory of Jagannath and Puri. So we may recite the same Sri Jagannath Ashtakam in this Puruṣottam Mas. And for any of you guys who didn't know, I do a kirtan program before this Chaitanya Bhagavat, before our reading every day. And I sing Jagannath Ashtakam and also the Choda Gurganya Puruṣashtakam and many other stotrams and ashtakams. But those are the 2 specific ones that we're supposed to sing in this month. We shall read the glories of Puruṣottam Vrat from the writings of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura in the morning. Daily recite Sri Jagannath Ashtakam and Choda Gurganya Puruṣashtakams in the afternoon, and perform silent japam of shloka instructed by Kandinya Muni. Hey, that's only part of the verse. Anyways, we read this verse at the beginning, this one. Govardhana, right? Is that the same verse? Yeah. Govardhana dharam vande gopalam goparupinam gokulotsavam ishanam govindam gopika priyam. Let's read the translation. It means, I worship the lifter of Govardhan, Gopal, who has the form of a Gopa. He is the festival of Gokul Utsav. He is the supreme controller of all. He is the Ishvar. And he is Govinda, the beloved of the gopis, Gopika Priyam. Very simple, huh? Govardhana dharam vande gopalam goparupinam gokulotsavam ishanam govindam gopika priyam. Okay, so recite that verse every day. Then in the evening, Deep Dan, offering a lamp of pure ghee, like offering, arti with a ghee wick before Vishnu Mandir, a temple of Lord Vishnu, Krishna, or Ram, or any Dash avatar. Lastly, at night, to read Brahmastava, the 40 shlokas from Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 14, canto 10. Interesting. Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 10th canto, chapter 14. So the prayers of Brahma. Interesting. That's really nice. Okay. Vande Nava Ganashyam Dvibhujam Murali Dharam Pitambara Dharam Devam Saradham Puruṣottamam. I offer my obeisances to Nava Ganashyam, Krishna, who has the color of a fresh rain cloud, who is holding the flutes with his 2 hands. I worship Puruṣottam, who is so beautiful in his yellow dress, his pitambar. Devotees concentrate on worshiping the Supreme Lord by hearing, chanting, and remembering the name, form, pastimes, and qualities of Sri Krishna day and night for spiritual benefit only. Reasoning correctly that any tendency for material benefit will certainly divert their minds, they observe this vrat by hearing about Krishna, chanting the Maha Mantra, and taking prasadam. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura recommends to follow this path. Okay, now there's an abridged article by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Let's see. Open in new tab. Let's see. It's not there, but I know where else we can find it. It's published in Rays of the Harmonist. I forgot which issue, but it's also on Bhaktivinoda Institute. Let's go there. Bhaktivinoda Institute. Let's find it. Okay, let's type in. Let's see. What are the topics? I'll find it in 1 second. Puruṣottam. The glories of Puruṣottam Mas. Puruṣottam Mas Mahatmya. Yeah, and this is a version translated by Gaudiya Publications. Cool. Before they didn't give credit, and I contacted these people and told them, hey, why are you not giving credits to the people who translated them? And then they added that. This is such an awesome website, though. BhaktivinodaInstitute.org has tons and tons. All of Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's books, articles, kirtans, everything is here. All newly translated. Good translations also. Wait. I'm so spaced out read-wise. There. No. Sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second. It's right here. Puruṣottama. There. Okay, got it. Okay. This says it's a 13-minute read. Okay. Maybe we can skip parts also if there's like if it's something that we already read. I'm just looking at the chat here. Okay, you want to link to that site? I'll do it after, Prabhu. I'll share the link after. And let me just quickly check the comment. Sorry, let me check on. I just want to see on Restream. Anyways, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. I like to see if anybody has any comments. Oh, that's where it was. Okay. No comments. Hare Krishna Meena Podal. Okay. So, the Glories of Puruṣottama Mahatma by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. 2 divisions of Shastra, Smarta and Paramartha. The Vedic Arya Shastras are divided into 2 sections, Smarta, literature based on Smriti, and Paramartha, transcendental literature based on Shruti. Those who are eligible, who are adhikari for the Smarta section, do not have any natural inclination or taste for the Paramartha Shastras. The thoughts, principles, activities, and life goal of every human is constituted according to his respective ruchi, his inclination. Generally, Smartas accept those scriptures which are in accordance with their respective ruchi. Having greater adhikar for Smarta Shastra, they do not demonstrate much regard for Paramarthic Shastra. Providence is the agent behind the creation of these 2 divisions. Therefore, undoubtedly, the maintainer of the world must have a hidden purpose in having made such an arrangement. As far as I understand, the purpose is that the jivas sequentially make progress in their level of consciousness by remaining steadfast in their respective adhikar. By deviating from one's adhikar, one falls down. According to one's activities, a person attains 2 types of adhikar. They attain karma adhikar or bhakti adhikar. As long as one maintains his karma adhikar, he derives benefit from the path shown by the Smarta section. When he enters bhakti adhikar, by transgressing the karma adhikar, then he develops a natural ruchi and inclination for the paramarthic, or transcendental path. Therefore, Providence has made these 2 divisions of Shastra, Smarta and Paramartha. The rules and regulations of Smarta Shastra are committed to karma. The Smarta Shastra has made various types of rules and regulations in order to help one attain nishta, steadfastness in karma adhikar. In many instances, it even demonstrates indifference towards Paramartha Shastra to make people attain specific nishta in such rules and regulations. In reality, although Shastra is one, it manifests in 2 ways for the people. If the jiva gives up adhikara nishta, he can never attain auspiciousness. For this reason, the Shastras have been divided into 2, Smarta and Paramartha. Adhimas, the extra month, also called Malamas, the impure month. It is devoid of all auspicious activities. Okay, so let's see what the Smartas say. By dividing the whole year into 12 parts, the Smarta Shastras have ascertained the auspicious or religious activities for these 12 months. All the karma, religious activities which are part of the Varnashram system, when allotted to the 12 months, leave the extra month, the Adhimas, devoid of any such activity. There is no religious performance in Adhimas. So all the Smartas, they think that this month is an impure month. It's called Malmas, impure month. And they can't do any activities, like no rituals, no nothing happens in this month. My friend Chandrasekhar was supposed to get married, and they were about to get married, but they had to move the dates till after Puruṣottama month, because you can't get married during Puruṣottama because it's considered impure month. You're not supposed to do any kind of karma, any ritualistic activities in this month. There is no religious performance in Adhimas. In order to keep lunar months and solar months in tally, 1 month has to be excluded every 32 months. The name of that month is Adhimas, extra month. Smartas have discarded this extra month, considering it abominable. They give it names such as Malamas, impure month, Chodamas, thieving month, and so on. Well, there's a footnote. It is stated in Śrīdhara Siddhanta that in one Mahayuga, there are 1,593,336,000 extra months and 51,840,000 solar months. Therefore, it is 1 extra month after every 32 months, 16 days, and 4 hours of the solar calendar. And we see actually with Puruṣottama, it falls in a different month every year. So last Puruṣottama, it was like more in the middle, wasn't it? I think it was in the 2nd month of Chaturmasya or the 3rd month of Chaturmasya. This year, it's in the 1st month of Chaturmasya. And what I just found out yesterday, you might have seen my Facebook post yesterday, that we continue following the vrat of whatever month that we fall in. So now this Puruṣottama falls in the 1st month of Chaturmasya vrat. So it means that we have to follow the rules for the 1st month of Chaturmasya vrat, like throughout this month. I mean, so we can't eat leafy greens during this Puruṣottama month. We can eat leafy greens. So we're going to have to follow 2 months of not eating leafy greens, plus all the rules for Kartik. We are also in Puruṣottama month, so we can't have mustard seeds and sesame, etc. So rules of Kartik, plus whatever month it falls in. So that's no leafy greens for us this time. From the perspective of Paramartha Shastra, Adhimas is superior and advantageous for Hari Bhajan. On the other hand, the most worshipable Paramartha Shastra acclaims Adhimas as the most outstanding month for transcendental activities. So life in this world is temporary. It is not proper to spend any part of one's life meaninglessly. It is imperative for the jiva to remain continuously engaged in Hari Bhajan at every moment. Thus, the Adhimas, which comes every 3rd year, may also become useful for Hari Bhajan. This is indeed the deep meaning of Paramartha Shastras. Even though karmis perceive this month to be devoid of all auspicious activities, for the deliverance of all the jivas, Paramartha Shastra on the other for the deliverance of all the jivas, Paramartha Shastra, on the other hand, has ascertained that period as the most conducive for Hari Bhajan. This month is the most conducive for Hari Bhajan, the Paramartha Shastra say. Paramartha Shastra says, "O jiva, during this Adhimas, why should you remain lazy in Hari Bhajan? Shri Golokanath himself has ascertained that this month is the best of all. It is superior even to the greatly pious months of Kartik, Magh, and Vaishak. In this month, you should perform archan of Shri Shri Radha Krishna with special rules or moods for bhajan. You will thereby attain all types of perfection." The history and glories of Adhimas and how it received the name Puruṣottama. Oh, we already read about this. Should we read it again? Why not? Let's just read the whole article. So the glories of Adimas are mentioned in the 31st chapter of the Naradiya Purana. Adimas considered the sovereignty of the 12 months and saw that he was being neglected. Oh, I thought in the other one it was saying that Adimas was a female. Anyways, here it's saying he. He went to Vaikuntha. Well, actually in Bengali, you can't tell because there's no gender in the language, so it could be referring to she. Anyways, he or she went to Vaikuntha and related his dilemma to Sri Narayan. Out of compassion, Vaikuntapati took Adimas with him and appeared before Sri Krishna in Goloka. After hearing about the distress of Malamas, the impure month, Sri Krishna's heart melted, and he spoke thus. Krishna said, Aham etaryata loke pratita Puruṣottama tathayam api lokeshu pratita Puruṣottama asmai samarpita sarve ye gunamai samstita mad sadrisham upagamya mahasana madipo bhavet jagat pujyo jagat pandyo maso yam tu bhavishyati sarve masa sakamascha nishkamo yamaya krita akama sarva kamo va yadimasam prapujayat karmani bhasmasat kritva mam evaishyatya samshayam kadachin mama bhaktanam aparadhiti kanyate Puruṣottama bhaktanam naparada kadachana ya etasmin mahadmuda japadana divarjita satkarma snana rahita devatirtha dvija jayante durvaga dushta parabhagyopajivana na kadachit sukam tesham swapnepi shringavat yenaham archito bhaktya masismin Puruṣottame dhana putra sukam bhunktva paschar golokavasa bhak. So Krishna said, to Malamas and Narayan. So interesting, Krishna's talking to Narayan. Okay. Oh Ramapati, just as I am celebrated in this world by the name Puruṣottam, similarly, this Adimas too will be renowned in the world by the name Puruṣottama. Now I offer all my qualities to this month. Becoming like me, from today onwards, this Adimas is the monarch of all the other months and is the most worshipable and most adored in the world. All other months are sakama, that is, they will grant worldly desires. This month, however, is nishkama. Those who worship this month, either without any desires, ākama, or with all types of desires, will have all their karmas burnt. Then they will achieve me. My bhaktas sometimes commit offenses, but in this Puruṣottama month, they will be protected from committing any offense. In this Adimas, those greatly foolish persons who neglect to perform auspicious activities such as japa, giving in charity, visiting and bathing in the holy places, and who are envious of the dvijas, of the brahmanas, are deemed wicked, unfortunate, and living at the cost of others. Thus, they will not attain a sense of happiness, even in their dreams. Conversely, those who are filled with bhakti will take advantage of this Puruṣottama month to perform archan to me. After enjoying worldly happiness, such as wealth, sons, and so on, they will eventually attain residence in Goloka. The glories of Puruṣottama month in the context of Draupadi's history. Many episodes from the Puranas are narrated in the context of the glories of Puruṣottama month. One such example is Draupadi. In her previous life, she was the daughter of Medha Rishi. Even after hearing of the glories of Puruṣottama month from Durvasa Rishi, she neglected to observe that month. As a result, she attained many sufferings in that life and became the wife of 5 husbands in her birth as Draupadi. During their exile, the Pandavas followed Sri Krishna's instructions to observe Puruṣottama Mas Vrat and thus crossed over all their sufferings. It is said, as it is said, Evam sarveshu tirteshu brahmanta Pandu Nandana Puruṣottama Masadya Vratam Cherur Vidanata Tadante Rajamatulam Avapur Gata Kantakam Purne Chaturdashe Varshe Shri Krishna Kripaya Mune. O Muni, during the period of their exile, the Pandavas traveled throughout all the holy places, and by the mercy of Shri Krishna, they observed Shri Puruṣottam Vrat with all rules and regulations. As a result of this, they completed their 14 years of exile without any obstacles, and at the end attained an unparalleled kingdom. The account of King Dhridadanva as spoken by Valmiki regarding Puruṣottam Vrat. Puruṣottamas is glorified in the account of King Dhridadanva's previous birth. At Badarikashram, Narad heard the procedure of the Vrat from Narayan Rishi, which Valmiki Muni then related to King Dhridadanva in answer to the king's questions. Just as the rules of Anik, when doing one's Gayatri mantras for Brahmins, are ascertained in Dharma Shastras, similarly, the obligatory activities for one observing Puruṣottam Vrat are also delineated, beginning from the Brahma Muhurta hour. Rules for bathing in the month of Shri Puruṣottam. Regarding the rules for bathing during Puruṣottam month, it is said, Samudraga nadi snanam uttamam parikirtitam vapikupa tadageshu madhyamam katitam budhai grihe snanam tu samanyam grihastasya prakirtitam. There are three types of baths as declared by the wise. A bath in the rivers which meet the ocean is the topmost. A bath in lakes, ponds, and wells is the second best. And a bath in one's home is an ordinary bath. For one who is observing Shri Puruṣottam Vrat, after taking bath, he should observe the following. Sa pavitrena hastena kuryad achmana kriyam achamya tilakam kuryad gopi chandana mritsnaya urdhva pundra mrijum somyam dandakaram prakalpayet shanka chakradinam dhairyam gopi chandana mritsnaya. After bathing, one should perform achman with clean hands. One should then make a paste of gopi chandan. Paste of gopi chandan clay and wear simple, beautiful, straight urdhva pundra tilak on his forehead and the marks of conch, disc, and so on his body. Interesting. The exclusive worship of Shri Radha Krishna is obligatory in Puruṣottam month. The worship of Shri Krishna is the obligatory activity of Puruṣottam month. Puruṣottama masasya daivatam Puruṣottama tasmat sampujayer bhaktya shraddhaya Puruṣottamam. Valmiki said, O Dhridadanva, Puruṣottama Shri Krishna is the presiding deity of the Puruṣottam month. Therefore, being filled with Bhakti Shraddha, you should worship Puruṣottam Shri Krishna with 16 types of paraphernalia every day of this month. As it is said, Shodasho pachacharaischa pujayet Puruṣottamam. The worship of the divine couple Shri Radha Krishna is indeed obligatory in Puruṣottam Mas. Agvacha devadevesha Shri Krishna Puruṣottama Radhaya Sahitaschatra Grihana Pujanam Mama. What constitutes Havishyana? Okay, so this is about the diet in Puruṣottam. Oh God, I don't want to read all this. I'm going to skip this because I want to finish this article before its time is over. So I'm not reading the Sanskrit. I'm going to continue. Foods and conduct that one should abstain from. All types of fish, meat, amisha, honey, kulakarkita fruit, mustard seeds, and all kinds of intoxicants are to be given up. Foods are considered impure and not fit for consumption are dvidal. That's like split Bengal gram, chana dal, and the likes. Oh, you can't have chana dal? Then you can't have sesame oil, rice grains containing stones and particles of sand and other impurities. So we should make sure that our grains are very pure. Wealth materials, which are bhava dushta, kriya dushta, and shabda dushta, are prohibited. So what's that? Bhava dushta means any wealth or material offered with an ulterior motive. For example, let me feed some devotees with a feast so that I stop incurring losses in my business. Then kriya dushta, any fault incurred in the standard procedure process. For example, bhog offered to the Lord prepared using high quality ingredients, but cooked in an unclean state. And shabda dushta, that's any fault arising from the medium of words. For example, some donation is offered, but the donor also claims that he has done a great favor by offering that donation. So these three types of dushta are prohibited in this month. Mushrooms, carrots, bottle gourd, loki, naricha, I don't know what naricha is, and a root called kemuka. They are all prohibited in this month. All the items that one abstains from during Puruṣottama Mas can be consumed only after first offering them to a qualified Brahman at the end of Puruṣottama Mas. Okay, so the end of the Puruṣottama Mas, we have to offer all these things like loki and blah, blah, blah to a Brahmana. After rising early in the morning and completing all pre-noon activities, one must follow all these regulations by remembering Sri Krishna with devotion within one's heart. A vrat is of three types. 1, upavas, that means fasting. Nakta, that means eating havishyana at night. And 3, eating once. I'm not doing the eating once thing. The fruit of listening to Srimad Bhagavatam and observing the vrat. In Puruṣottama Mas, one should listen to Srimad Bhagavatam with devotion. Devotees should worship Shaligram Shila. And I guess we're not reading Srimad Bhagavatam in this month, but we're reading Chaitanya Bhagavat. So I think that also counts, right? And we read that one verse. We read 2 verses from Chaitanya Bhagavat. So we'll have read Chaitanya Bhagavat every day. I'll make sure to read Chaitanya Bhagavat verse every day so that we continue that. In Puruṣottama Mas, one should listen to Srimad Bhagavatam with devotion. Devotees should worship Shalagram Shila. This vrat is more glorious than 100 fire sacrifices, because by performing 100 fire sacrifices, one attains heavenly planets. However, all the holy places of pilgrimage and all demigods reside in the body of one who observes this Puruṣottama vrat. Wow. Offering of a lamp and its fruit. One should consider it one's duty to offer deep dan, offering of a lamp, for the pleasure of Puruṣottama Shri Krishna in this month. If wealthy and eligible, one should offer pure ghee lamps. O Manigriva, where will you obtain ghee or sesame oil while in exile in the forest? Hence, you can offer deep dan using inguli oil. I don't know what kind of oil that is, but if you're poor and you don't have access to ghee or sesame oil, you can use inguli oil, I guess whatever kind of oil that works. Namaskara mantra. Okay. Vande Nava Ghana Shama Dvibhujam Muralidharam Pitambara Dharang Devam Saradham Puruṣottamam. I'm gonna have to add this to our Mangalacharan that we're gonna say every day in our Kirtan program. Arati, Dhyan, and Pushpanjali mantra. Afterwards, offer sesame in the fire sacrifice till homa and offer arati. Then you say this mantra. Nirajayami devesha mindivara dalachavim radhika ramana premna koti kandarpa sundaram. Then the dhyan mantra. Okay, what's the meter for this? Okay. Antarjoti anantaratna rachite sinhasane sangstitam Vangshinada vimohita vrajavadu vrindavane sundaram Dhyayed radhikaya sakostubhamani pradyotito rastalam Raja Dranta Kirita Kundaladaram Pratyagrapitambaram Nomi Navagana Shamam Pitavasa Samachutam Shrivasa Vasitoraskam Radhika Sahitam Harim. That's the Dhyan mantra. I wish there's a translation for it. It looks really beautiful. Anyways, afterwards, offer charity of Purna Patra to a devotee Brahmin along with Dakshina, and then give donations. At this time, it is stipulated to give Srimad Bhagavatam in charity to a Brahman Vaishnava. Give a set of compact bell metal containers to a Brahmana, and serve prasadam of sweet rice mixed with ghee. And at the end, relinquish all the vows you had accepted specifically for this vrat. Uh-oh, it's 8:30. Anyways, I think we're at the end of the article now. Right? Let's see. Oh yeah, we're totally at the end. This is the okay. Activities prohibited in the month of Purushottam. All the rules and regulations regarding Shri Purushottam Vrat, which we have presented above from these shastras, should be followed by religiously devoted persons of all the varnas, of all the castes. The Naradiya Purana concludes by saying that in the holy place of Naimisharanya, Sri Sutta Goswami spoke to the assembled devotees as follows. Sutta Goswami said, Bharate janurasadya purushottama uttamam na sevante nashinbanti grihasakta naradhama kata gatam pajantetra durbhaga janma janmani putra mitra kalatrapta viyogar dukabhagina asmin mase dvijashreshta na sa chastranya udaharit na swapit parashayayam nalapit hitatam vachit parapavadana bhruyan na katanchit kadachana parananancha na punjita na kurvita parakriyam. Even after taking birth in India, those who are the lowest of mankind remain attached to household life, and they never hear the glories of Shri Purushottam Vrat, nor do they observe it. Such unfortunate persons undergo the sufferings of repeated birth and death, and the distress inflicted by the separation from sons, friends, wives, or one's wife, and other relatives. Sorry. I didn't mean to make that plural. Oh, best of the Dvijas. In this Purushottam month, one should not uselessly discuss worldly literature or mundane poetry. Or for the present time period, what would be relevant now is movies and things like that. Back then, they didn't have movies. They only had worldly literature and poetry. So don't discuss movies or the news or any of that kind of stuff. One should not sleep on the bed of others, nor indulge in discussions of worldly sense enjoyment. One should not criticize others. One should not eat foodstuffs cooked by others or perform activities prescribed for others. So those are what we're trying to avoid during Purushottam, and these are the obligatory activities in the Purushottam month. Vita shatyam akurvano danam dadhyad vijataye vidyamane dhane shatyam kurvano roravam vrajet dine dine dvijendraya dattva bhojanamuttamam divastasyashtame bhage vrati bhojanamacharet indradumna shatadyumno yovanashvo bhagiratha purushottamam aradhya yayor bhaga vadantikam tasmat sarva prayatnena samsevya purushottama sarva sadhanatav shikam. Oh, okay, here's the verse that we're supposed to say every day. Govardhana dharam vande gopala goparupinam gokulotsavam ishanam govindam gopika priyam. We already read the translation for this, so I'm going to skip. Kondinyena pura proktam ima mantranam puna puna japa masam nayar bhaktya purushottamam apnuyat. Okay, we're almost done. Dhyayan nava ghanashyamam dvibhujam muralidharam lasat pita patam ramyam saradham purushottamam dhyayam nayam masam pujayan purushottamam eva ya kurte bhaktya swabhishtam sarvamapnuyat. Giving up miserliness. One should give in charity to the brahmanas. If a person remains miserly, even though he has wealth, his miserliness will be the cause of his going to Rodav, one type of hell. Every day, one should feed the Vaishnavas and Brahmins with the best foodstuffs. A person who is following the vows should take his food in the 8th part of the day. Indradumna, Satadumna, Yovanashva, and Bhagirat attained Samipya, close association of Bhagavan, by worshipping the Puruṣottama month. One should perform service to Puruṣottama with all of one's endeavors. Such service to Puruṣottama is superior to all types of sadhan and fulfills all varieties of desires. In a previous age, Kondilya Muni repeatedly chanted the mantra, Govardhana Dharam Vande. By chanting this mantra with devotion during Sri Puruṣottama month, one will attain Sri Puruṣottama himself. One should devote Puruṣottama month to constantly meditating upon Navaghana Dvibhuja Muralidhar Pitambar Shri Krishna with Shri Radha. Those who do this with devotion will have all their cherished desires fulfilled. The observance for transcendentalists, Svanishta, Paranishta, and Nirapeksha. Oh, it's still a bit longer. Anyways, these are the last 5 paragraphs. Sorry, guys. There are 3 types of transcendentalists. Svanishta, those who are steadfast in their personal vows. Paranishta, those who are steadfast in following the vows set forth by their respective ācāryas. And Nirapeksha, those who are indifferent to the above 2 types of steadfastness. Okay, Svanishta, Paranishta, and Nirapeksha. Those who perform their own vows, those who follow the vows set by respective ācāryas, and those who are above all different types of vows. Svanishta and Paranishta bhaktas are generally householders, and Nirapeksha bhaktas are renunciates. The Svanishta sadhak perform all his activities in accordance with the rules and prohibitions laid down for the service and attendance of Bhagavan. The Parinishthita sadhak completely discards the rules and prohibitions prescribed within Varnashram and endeavors incessantly, simply to please Bhagavan Sri Hari. And the Nirapeksha sadhak is a renunciate. All the activities mentioned above for Puruṣottama month are prescribed for Svanishta transcendentalists. Parinishthita bhaktas are eligible to observe Puruṣottama Vrat according to the rules and instructions of Kartik Vrat prescribed by their respective ācāryas. Nirapeksha bhaktas respect this sacred month by daily honoring Sri Bhagavat Prasad with one pointed attention, following some routine for Shravan and Kirtan of Sri Harinam according to their capacity. The following statement from Vishnu Rahasya, which is the topmost instruction of Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas, recommends Indriyarteshvasaktanam sadaiva vimalamati paritoshayate Vishnu no pavaso jitatmana. Those whose intelligence has been purified by bhakti are detached from the inclination for the sense enjoyment. The intelligence of such persons is naturally pure. Therefore, they are jitatma. They have conquered their minds. It is by their innate bhakti, rather than by upavas, rather than by fasting and other such activities, that they have purified their minds and are thus able to please Shri Krishna at all times. It's not by their fasting that they're purified, it's by their bhakti, their innate bhakti. The innate ruchi, the innate inclination and obligatory activities of ekantik bhaktas. Therefore, Srila Sanatana Goswami has concluded his book Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas by presenting the following statements for one-pointed devotees. He says, Evam eva ekantinam praya kirtanam smaranam prabhu kurvantam param pritya krityam anyam narochate bhavena kenachit preshta shri murter angrisevane syar ichasyaisham svatantrena svarasanaiva tadvidi vihiteshveva nityeshu pravartante swayam hite ityadekantikanam, sorry, ityadekantinam bhakti mahatmam likitam hitat. Ekantic bhaktas, one-pointed devotees of Sri Krishna, consider Sri Krishna Smaran and Sri Krishna Kirtan alone to be the most fulfilling and valued activities. Generally, they do not engage in any other angas of bhakti besides these two, Krishna Smaran and Krishna Kirtan. So they don't perform any other angas of bhakti except for these two, which they cultivate with great love and affection. Their eagerness for these angas is so strong that no other activity can captivate their taste. They develop an intense desire to serve the lotus feet of Sri Krishna in a specific mood. Therefore, they render service to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna with moods which are favorable to their own ras, along with some independence to give up the injunctions which are unfavorable to their cultivation. This alone is their vidhi. This is their rules. The ekantic bhaktas are not bound to follow all the rules and regulations which have been prescribed by the rishis. The moods of the ekantic bhaktas is inborn natural. The moods of the ekantic bhaktas' inborn natural disposition generally remains prominent. This is their glory. Adimas is dear to bhaktas, as there is no disturbance from the karma kanda in this month. The bhaktas observe Sri Puruṣottama according to the respective adhikar. This means according to the distinctions of the moods of Swanishta, Paranishtita, and Ekantika bhaktas. Bhagavan Rajendranath Sri Krishna is the sovereign of this month. Therefore, Adimas is dear to every bhakta. This is because, incidentally, in this month, no disturbance from karma kanda can come to obstruct the performance of one's bhakti. And there's this in this endnote, it explains what the Swanishtita, Parinishita, and neater picture. Let's see what it says here. The Swanishtita Sadak performs all his activities in accordance with the rules and prohibitions laid down for the service of and attendance of Bhagavan. The Parinishita Sadak completely describes. Oh, we already read this. Yeah, okay. So,
hey, Prabhuji?
Yes.
I have to go. May I ask a question though?
Yeah.
How strictly do we observe the no cutting of nails during Chaturmas and Purushottam Vrat?
I don't know. I don't know. I know Śrīla Prabhupada is very against that, people not cutting their nails. He would actually like go and check people's, he'd like, I heard that Śrīla Prabhupada would take people's hands and look at their nails to make sure that they were cut nicely. And he said that we're supposed to be gentlemen. I don't know. I'm definitely not going to follow that one because that's, I just find it gross. So I don't know. I can't say.
Okay.
I just know that I'm following that one.
I heard for pujaris it's mandatory.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, you're also not supposed to use soap during this month, but I'm going to use soap. I don't know. Those ones I don't follow. All right.
Anyway, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you for everybody for letting me read so much overtime. I went 12 minutes over our normal reading time. I'll just end with a very short kirtan and a very short jaidwani, and then yeah. I think we have some leeway of going overtime on like the first days of Vrats. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai, oh, and I'll answer your question, Vidya Lala Sadidi. 1 second, I just going to do quick Jadwani and I'll answer your question. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Shri Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Swaparsha Ji Gaurnitananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Puruṣottama Dev Ki Jai, Shri Jagannath Dev Ki Jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ju Ki Jai, Shri Jagannath Puri Kshetra Dham Ki Jai, Shri Puruṣottama Vrat Ki Jai, Vrat Palam Kari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat Ki Jai, Shri Nitai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsidevai Priyaya Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for staying this very long reading today. Shubhananda Prabhu, Yashoda Didi, Dandavat pranams. Oh, I'll share the link in this group. I just want to see. Okay, so now let me go to the questions. Vidya Lala Sadidi, she said, the Pure Bhakti calendar shows fasting for Puruṣottama starting yesterday, 17th July, and shows Puruṣottama starting from today, 18th July. Can I explain this? Shoot, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I thought we were supposed to start fasting from today. So I don't have an answer to that, actually, which kind of sucks because I kind of had something that I had some oil. I'm not sure if I was allowed to have it during Puruṣottama. Anyways, whatever. Also, can we take snake gourd, or does it come under the family of bottle gourd and thus prohibited? I've never heard of snake gourd before. So I don't know. I'm guessing it's probably not all right, but I don't know. Actually, no, don't even listen to what I say. I have no idea even what that is. But as I mentioned before, in this Puruṣottama month, we're also not taking leafy greens. So, because we're still in the month of Shravan. Shravan is the first month of Chaturmasya, right? And during Shravan Mas, you don't take any leafy greens, and we're still in Shravan Mas, even though it's Puruṣottama. So no leafy greens. But I actually, on Devananda Gaudiya Math, they wrote this whole thing in Bengali. It said that from after the day of Purnima, we can eat leafy greens for 2 weeks until we resume the first month of Chaturmasya. So technically, you fast from leafy greens for 2 weeks now, then you can eat leafy greens for another 2 weeks. And then again, for 2 weeks, you don't eat leafy greens because we're going to go back into we're right now halfway in between the first month. Oh, it's sounding so complicated, right? But I talked to Amal Krishna Prabhu in Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math, and I asked what they are doing. And also, this is what they're doing at Radhe Kunj with Premananda Prabhu. And this is also what Krishna Balaram Mandir, Madhusudan Raj and Krishna Priya Didi and all them. Everybody, like all our Gaudiya Maths, all the different sanghas and everything, they are all following it for the full month. So until Puruṣottama's over, actually. So in other words, they're all following the no eating leafy greens for 2 months fully. Even though technically you can have a 2 week, you can eat greens for 2 weeks after the full moon till Amavasya. Anyways, best to keep it simple, and let's follow what they're following in most of the Gaudiya Maths, but not Devananda Gaudiya Math. We're going to not eat leafy greens for 2 months. But if it's really too difficult for you, then you can start eating leafy greens after Purnima all the way till Amavasya. Technically, that's allowed because then we won't be in Shravan month anymore. All right. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm going to be very good at being punctual just today because it's the first day of Puruṣottama. I went overtime, but after this, I'm going to finish every day on the dot at 8:35 a.m. All right. Hari Bol, everybody. Hari Bol, Indira Mataji, Karuna Didi, and Vidyalalasa Didi, everybody watching. Hare Krishna. Oh yeah, Shubhananda Prabhu. You wanted me to send you the links. All right, so I'll send the links here. Yeah. Sorry, there's many other people watching. Champakti, Kagraj, Raseshwari Mataji, Ganga Didi, DK, Pujumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Sudevi Didi. Hare Krishna, everybody. All right. Okay, I'm just finding the links. Actually, maybe I'll post the links in Shubhananda Prabhu. You're in the WhatsApp group, right? So I'll post the links in our daily Bhagavatam WhatsApp group. Okay.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
Okay.
Hari Hari.
Thank you so much for staying with me so long. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.